What is up, guys? This is your boy Superior Simmer, and today I have some more information regarding The Sims 4. If you guys like news, updates, and discussion, please hit the sub button, and if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. I also do have an affiliate link with Instagaming to bring you guys cheaper Sims packs. If you guys click the right side of the screen or the link in the description, you guys will find a bunch of deals on The Sims 3. It's around $3, and all the expansion packs are under $10 as well. Without further ado, let's get into the bullshit. Okay, guys, so there's a bunch of information I want to go over with The Sims Direct, Adventure Awaits, and just the EA franchise as a whole. Okay, so starting off with the whole playground situation, if you guys weren't aware, the new patch update, we got a new lot type, and that is the playground venue. Originally, you needed 6 playground items for it to be labeled as a playground, but after listening to feedback from Simmers, they said that they're going to adjust it to having only 4 items to consider it a playground venue. Originally, they said 3, but then they went back and then said 4, which is possible with the base game items, which should have been the requirement from the beginning, because it kind of felt like they were pushing players to buy Adventure Awaits to get the 6 items. Now, they also did mention that they're investigating reports on the bb.move objects cheat that may cause issues with the place a stuffed animal near a toy box challenge in the Forever Friends event. So again, if you guys weren't aware, we do have a new event going on right now, which is the Forever Friends event. I honestly think it's one of the wackest events they've done. I don't like events in general just because I don't want to have to jump through hoops to get new items. But yeah, currently they said if you're unable to progress through this challenge, they said please disable the bb.move objects cheat, then restart your games. So if you're experiencing issues with that challenge, again, turn off the move objects cheat and then restart your game. But yeah, they are looking into that as well. Now, I haven't seen too many people talk about this online. The Power Ranger program finally released their early access content for Adventure Awaits, and I wanted to just say this first before I get into this. I think the content that's been uploaded has been really good. It's been very informative. I've learned a lot about the pack through different creators. One channel I've been watching a lot is the Cinderellimouse. I could be saying her name wrong. She posted a video of the cross pack compatibility with Adventure Awaits. She was able to turn on all the packs with the early access version of the game, and it's an hour-long video showing and explaining all the cross pack gameplay, and it's actually insane how much cross pack compatibility this pack has. A few hours ago, she also posted a boarding school getaway. So again, we talked about this before on the channel, but you can technically make private schools or just regular high schools for your kids and teen sims. You can also make a prison. I seen James Turner recently post a video of him running a prison. I've been watching that as well. Also, Risshella, the content creator that we saw on the live stream, she posted a romance competition. I haven't seen any creators kind of make a dedicated video to the competitions, and Risshella was the only one that covered the romance competition, and that was very informative. That gave me a lot of information. And lastly, shout out to Oshinsims because she did a bunch of videos on the cast, the custom venues, and the getaways as well. Explained a lot of things that I was confused about. So again, if you guys want to know more about this pack, I will leave those videos in the link in the description. But yeah, I mentioned all this because it's safe to say that Adventure Awaits is one of the better packs. Part of the reason is because this pack has been baking in the oven a lot longer than some of the other packs like Horse Ranch or like Love Struck, and there's a lot of highly requested features. I've noticed a lot of the creators posting their early access content aren't getting a lot of views. I say this because if you go back onto the Sims channel and look at the official reveal trailer, it only has 500,000 views. Keep in mind, I would say this is the pack that's highly requested. Like, this is the pack that a lot of people have been wanting. If you look at the Enchanted by Greed trailer, it has 1.1 million views. Part of that is because of the fairies reveal, but I would argue Simmers would want a vacation slash getaway pack more than a fairies pack. Even the businesses and hobbies trailer has almost 1 million views. And again, I would argue so far from what I've seen, Adventure Await clears both these packs. So again, the big question is, why is the engagement for these videos and the trailer so low? And I think it's kind of obvious that even with my recent video where EA was trying to blame Simmers for their mods, I've seen a lot of Simmers say, hey, I play on console and you can't use mods, so why is my game still broken? And all this is subject to change. Like, over time, these videos will get more views, especially with the release of the pack. I don't know if it's just me, and I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on this. I feel like there's tension in the air. Simmers are boycotting right now, man. It's very obvious. A lot of people are done. If you go back on my video, there's a bunch of people literally saying they cannot play the game. The game is in a very broken state, and it's just very interesting because I feel like this is only like a taste of what's to come. If the game doesn't get fixed by the time we get another big release, there's a shift, there's a change. Maybe I'm being dramatic and extra, but I feel it. Is this crazy to think that a Sims trailer with the most requested features only has 500,000 views? Again, this is a new expansion. Why isn't there more engagement with these videos? It's insane. I think people are fed up, man. I think people are done. And I think obviously the only people watching this are people who, you know, want to support these creators, or maybe they don't have issues with the game, so they're not boycotting. But there's clearly a shift here. And I feel like it's only going to get worse if things don't start switching up. Again, I said it earlier, I've been enjoying all the videos, but it is crazy to see. And I feel like the trailer was kind of like a telltale sign of what's to come. And now we're finally seeing the aftermath of all this stuff. So guys, please comment down below your thoughts and opinions on that, because this is insane. Now, lastly, shout out to the Sims community. Apparently, EA could be going private in a $50 billion deal with investors. So they say a record-breaking deal could change EA's future, and here's what it might mean for The Sims and its future. They said EA, the publisher behind The Sims and owner of Maxis, is reportedly on the verge of one of the biggest changes in gaming history. It has been reported by the Wall Street Journal that EA is in talks to go private in a massive $50 billion deal backed by investors including Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund and Infinity Partners, the firm led by Jared Kushner, the son-in-law of US President Donald Trump. If finalized, this would be the largest buyout the video game industry has ever seen, and it could have major implications for EA's future, including the Sims franchise. So it says, what is happening at EA? So they said going private means EA would no longer be a publicly traded company. Instead of being accountable to shareholders quarterly, the company would operate under a small group of investors. This shift could give EA more flexibility in its operations of studios, including Maxis, invest in long-term projects, and experiment with new ideas. However, it also comes with a significant financial and operational changes. So they say EA's portfolio includes EA FC, formerly FIFA, Madden, NFL, and most importantly to us, The Sims. They said these properties generate billions in revenue annually, making them an attractive target for private investors and investment firms looking for stable returns. So while the deal is still under negotiation, has not been officially announced, the potential scale of the buyout has already captured the industry's attention for fans of The Sims. It raises questions about how the future titles and updates might be influenced by the corporate shift. They said, who are the investors and is it a cause for concern? So they said the reported buyout of EA involves several high-profile firms with significant financial influence. Leading the buyout is Silver Lake, a private equity firm known for its involvement in its investments in technology companies. Alongside Silver Lake is Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, who already owns roughly 10% of EA and has been increasing its presence in the gaming industry through other investments into studios. Instead, the third key investor is Infinity Partners, a firm led by the son-in-law of US President Donald Trump, Jared Kushner. I don't know if it's Affinity or Affinity. I'm assuming it's Affinity, but it says Affinity here. It said Infinity Partners specializes in large-scale investments and partnerships, often partnering with sovereign wealth funds owned by a country as opposed to private investors such as Saudi Arabia's private investment firm. So what could this mean for The Sims? They said for the fans of Sims, EA's potential buyout raises questions about the future of the tone of its most successful franchises. They said The Sims has been a cornerstone of EA's portfolio. I can't even say it. Why can't I say it? Portfolio. I don't know why I can't say it. Since the first game launched in 2000, and the series has drawn a dedicated, diverse fan base. There are several possibilities that the company's new ownership could cause. Monetization. I don't think that's spelled right. Monetization. Investors may push for more aggressive monetization, such as additional premium content within EA's catalog, microtransactions, or subscription-based models similar to EA Play. This could impact both the release of content and its cost to players. Bro, if that happens, that's actually insane. This game is already expensive, bro. They say EA are confident in the development of Project Grenade, the successor to The Sims 4. It is not the successor to The Sims 4. No, it's not, bro. That is some entirely different entity within the Sims franchise. That, to me, it's a spinoff. That's the way I look at Project Grenade. It's not to say that it's not gonna have better features or better gameplay, better graphics, but to me, it's a spinoff. And we still don't know anything about Project Grenade. And it's been like 5 years since its announcement. Very strange. They said the shift could see a change in the focus for the studio towards live service models, which have proven popular and financially attractive for studios. They say with EA dedicating numerous resources to The Sims 4, including multiple packs per year and free base game updates, this investment could lead to increase in production or change in release strategies. So while a buyout could open new opportunities for EA and The Sims franchise, it also carries significant risks that could affect the company. Large buyouts often involve taking on substantial debts, which could see EA forced to prioritize short-term financial returns over long-term creative projects such as Project Grenade. A focus on monetization, which is no stranger to EA, may also intensify. While the full impact and whether or not the buyout will occur are still to be seen, the risks highlight why players should pay close attention to the potential new ownership. So this image here shows LGBT rights in Saudi Arabia. If I'm reading this correctly, I think being gay is illegal and it counts as a death penalty as a punishment. Gay marriage is banned. Changing genders is illegal. So I think you guys can kind of get an idea of what we're dealing with here. If this deal were to go through, this could potentially mean, as The Sims is right now, could change it to something that's not LGBTQ friendly. And that's what the game is about, man. Like literally, Will Wright created this game for people to express their sexual orientation, bro. And there's a potential for that to be gone if this deal goes through. That is The Sims identity. This game is for everyone. I think in terms of diversity with The Sims 4, I don't think it's doing a good job. And that's a whole video for another day, but it's definitely taking steps in the right direction that other games aren't. And that is The Sims, bro. Like that's The Sims. I don't know if I can say this game is for people who are disabled, because this game has a shitty representation when it comes to like people who are disabled. It's honestly a joke, but it is trying. I would say the only good thing that comes out of this, if this deal goes through, is that if they look at The Sims and say, okay, this is a money maker, they're obviously going to give the game more budget, because I think that's one of the biggest things with The Sims right now is like, it's very clear if you're a veteran player, not like these new kids who just started playing Sims. You can tell tell the packs are very diluted. Like there's not a lot of content for the price, and it's gotten progressively worse over the years. Again, that's why a lot of people want like a new Sims 5 game. I know some people get upset when I say that, but like, again, just because the Sims 4 has had a rocky release, that doesn't take away from the games that came before it. We have to put respect on the Sims 2, and the Sims 3. So I can see some positives if this deal goes through, but I think the cons outweigh the pros. And the way I look at this is the lesser of two evils. So yeah, I would love to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions on this. This was something I definitely had to kind of educate myself on before I talked about it, because I'm just not familiar with this stuff. I'm not gonna act like I know what the hell I'm talking about. Lastly, shout out to my channel members Day, Anna Kate, and Shari King. I appreciate everything you guys do for me, and thank you so much for the support. Yeah, with that being said, hope you guys have a good day and take care.